Good morning. Giving praise to the Creator, God of heaven and earth, Israel, our God, our King, our Savior, our Redeemer. Um, it seems to be that we have disruption, distraction, and division, if you want to call it. Now, due to the fact that we know this has been a well tactic methodology that the white man has separated Israel from amongst his people. It caused all type of controversy within life itself. And now that I see, we see a lot of conflict issues amongst Israel with our people with the platforms that they come on. Our brothers and sisters, well, I would say mainly our brothers, is taking different doctrines from the Word of God and use them as their own to divide Israel, to keep them from the main objective is to learn the law and apply it to our life, what we're living in right now. And it's crazy because if you look up on the platforms, you'll see people then came up with the identity of a Canaanite doctrine. You see the doctrine of polytheism. We got the Kemet methodology, uh, and so forth. Now, the curses bear witness to the markings of God's people about what was to take place with his chosen people that decide to go against the covenant, the peace covenant. And we see that our people are in complete array with that. We hear New Testament, they talk about keeping the law, but they do not acknowledge the law. Uh, a lot of them don't even read from the old covenant. But the main objective, what we see right now, was the laws being broke about following after the ways of the heathen, right? And this is what our people is dealing with. When you look at Leviticus 18 and 3, Leviticus 18 and 3, and we see in the laws that it says, uh, after the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, ye, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinance. Leviticus 20 and 24, we see, but I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it. A land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Most High your God, which has separated you from other people. Right. Verse 23 saying, ye shall not walk in the manner of the nations, which I cast out before you for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. And then when we finally go to Deuteronomy 12, and we look at verses 30 and 31, these are the laws that's being broke right now. It says, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their goods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Thou shalt not do so unto the Most High thy God, for every abomination to the Most High which he hateth have they done unto their gods, for even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods. And then you see Jeremiah 10 and 2, follow not the ways of the heathen, for they are just made of the things that are in heaven. You see what I'm saying? So, in this perspective of what I'm seeing is you have a lot of brothers that's playing with the word of God and doing everything that was repeated from our ancestors' time. And it's kind of messed up because we was told not to follow the ways of the heathen. So the thing is, our main objective was to learn the law. And then it said, then I will give praise to the Creator. When we read Psalms 119. I don't know how many people are doing that right at this time. But the people that's on the platform right now is not doing that. So we could come up with every type of excuse and say why the white man is doing what he's doing. The main voice that we hear that tells us not to lean on to our own understanding is the word of God. And we see our people are leaning on to their own understanding. So it's true. People are getting carried away with this. It don't become very disrespectful. And man, it's kind of shaking up to the point is that if you go up on these platforms, SVDL, you could see all the corruption going on. I mean, that's on every. I mean, everything that got to do with Solomon is a serious effect with our people. To the point is that, man, I mean, when we first came into the truth, well, my whole thought was my objective was joining the league was to display information and inform our brothers and sisters the true words of Yah on know what it is that God expects for us to do. Our people was taking things out of the ordinary and basically just plagiarized, plotted, and planned and made it into what they wanted to be. So, and it's a serious matter to the point as we know that we living in the last days. I don't know whether you want to call them agents. They're going to keep us separated from one another. But this is what's going on with Israel right now. And I guess what we're seeing is that brothers having no regards for the word. I don't care how you sugarcoat it, how you interpret, how you understand the scriptures. If it's not the way the Most High acknowledged it, then you are completely going against the words of God. So it's just like, man, I mean, it's crazy, but man, people living that life. They living that life. But y'all be with me that I don't get myself involved into that nonsense. I'm an old covenant keeper. That's why I stand. My objective is to learn all the laws and apply them to my life that God may acknowledge me as a child of His that's written in the book of life, to be able to go home and live amongst my people and to be able to fellowship and keep the laws of God. But Right now, the situation what we dealing with right now is completely out of control, and it get worse and worse every time. I mean, if you out here calling people the B word, man, that's a real quick way of losing your life. And that's not to be a threat because my experience in jail was when that word came about. A lot of people were stabbed for that word. So I mean, I got 3 years in this truth in this game that's waking me up to the understanding of the Most High. My whole thing is get myself level headed, uh, not to feed into nonsense, to be able to be cordial and be humble with myself, and not to be so angry all the time when people say things that's against the Most High. And the thing is, when people talk the way they do in ignorance, just to pull away from them and back up out of that conversation because it does you no good. So, hey, God teaches us, it's up us to apply to His word and His will. So, just look up at the league. I mean, what's going on? I mean, true enough that yeah, Solo, you gonna get your views and everything, but understand the problems that you causing with your own people. So I mean, not only is it you, but it's the people that's letting you do that. So we are responsible for our own actions and the things that we do. So man, I mean, we gotta check ourselves, man. We gotta check ourselves. So with that being said, it was just a little short previous video, you know what I'm saying? Something that to inform brothers and sisters not to get involved coming into the truth that you can have people onto your mind and have you join a league, not a league of what God has in mind for you, but a league of what man is trying to convert you into. So hope we get that understanding and be able to build and get back on point and try to do what it is that the Most High expects of us. So I'm gonna say shalom.